I say. Welcome back, everyone. It's been a while since I've played this game. Sorry, a thought occurred to me. Somebody, as people apparently are one to do, was watching my first Hokage playthrough. That's the one everyone watches, even though no HD quality. And I'll have you know, I think the fourth playthrough got like all the achievements on Steam. On PlayStation Network. So, and that one was HD and everything. So that's the one they should be watching, by diggity. Turns out I used to be funny. Who knew? Like, watching back some of that, I had some legitimately funny things to say. During the stupid parts of the game, too. During the deep grave pit. There was funny times to be had. Anyways, while we reminisce about how 4 years ago I was, actually funny and hopeful and happy. What was I doing 4 years ago? Was I even in college yet? I think I was in community college. I hadn't been to Radford yet. That sounds right. Anyway, I was definitely out of high school by that point. Graduated before 2014, thank you. Anyways, I've got my Kraken spiced rum. And nothing else, I might add, drinking it right from the bottle, because I am a classy individual. Just drinking it straight. The smell. Smell alone puts hair on the chest. Last thing I had to drink before this, I chugged like 3 bottles of wine, because they were going to go bad otherwise. They had been previously opened, not by me. I chugged that wine as a favor, damn it! Anyways, why do I have $40,000? Good lord. That can't be right. What bill do I have to pay that I'm saving money like a motherfucker? Maybe it's just that's the money the bar's made. Anyways, we'll take a swig here and get started. I don't know about you. I like to play this game late at night. I'd like to think you do as well. Well, watch the game anyways. Note to self, buy oil for that door. Squeaks a lot. The jukebox. Alright, you know the drill. Everyone get the hell out, except for a remix Snowfall. All the way to the end here. Get Base of Titans, Glitch City, Alternate, Tense, Meet the Staff, Digital Drive. With renewed hope, we something or other. Your love is a drug, and I'm addicted, baby. That pickup line does not work. Arene. Everything will be okay. And where do I go from here? Boy, 2 sentences that sum up my mentality in life. Everything will be okay, and where do I go from here? Like, I know it's all going to work out, but sometimes you're just lost, you know? Are we, still shuffling? We're not. Must correct that. Alright, then. Hey, Gillian. Gil, you're in my spot, please. This bar's very small, and I only serve people at one angle, I'll have you know. $60 for cup ramen. Future is abysmal, isn't it? Also, you're cleaning one of Boss's chicken buckets. Boy, let me tell you. Part of this game, the story is already kind of batshit, and there's just chunks of it that I don't remember because I've been drinking. I know, shocker. It affects my memory. So, a lot of the story I end up forgetting, and then sentences like this come along, and memories flood back in like a wave of vomit. And it's like, oh, right, that's what's going on, or happened. So that's charming. Ahem. Did Boss ask you to do that? If I told you she did, would you believe me? Without a doubt. Let's go with that, then. Right. Sounds good. Stella. Good old cat girl with the cyber eye. They explained how this is possible. I'm not sure I buy it, though. Something about a augmentation baby results in cat ear. I don't remember. Stella, what can I get you? I go with a Bleeding Jane today. Easy enough. Bleeding Jane. Bleeding Jane. Bronson. deltas, blankerides, and blended. There you go, Bleeding Jane, or Bleed Jane, as it suggests. Here you go. Thank you. What brought you here today? Waiting for Sai? I came by myself, actually. I was in the area and stopped by to say hi. Oh, good. It's pretty interesting, though. When I first saw you, I doubted you'd ever come here again. Well, she can surprise you that way. Well, this place is comfortable, I must admit. It's the staff, let me tell you. It is purely just good quality staff, who usually aren't drunk. Is that an exit? Like, no. Okay. I like that that actually works, though. That amuses me. So quiet and secluded. It's also clean, really clean. You have to thank Gil for that one. Gil's the one you can owe that to. I forgot how similar I am to this girl, and where I can't remember. It's either Betsy or Betty, but she and I get along like a house on fire. That guy takes pride in how clean he keeps things around here. If you ever need cleaning staff, he's a nice pig. Really? He's a bit out of it today, though. I see. Hey, Jill, have you heard of the new gold rush in the city? No? Gold rush? Everyone was paying small fortunes to get their hands on pieces of white knight suits. Okay. I think I heard or read something about that, but I'm having doubts, so probably not. Yeah, I don't remember that. Why, though? In any case, how's it a gold rush? Well, the tech behind the suits was always safeguarded, but after the events at the bank... Sorry. After the events at the bank, the suits were remotely shut down, bricking many of them in the process. That makes even less sense. Why do people want to buy a bunch of bricked suits? Many units dropped their armor right there and fled when the lynchings went on. Well, that would be the time to flee. Any white knights still stuck in their suit had to take the armor off and manually run away. Oh. That's a bit of a bummer. Ahem. It all happened in the middle of the lynchings, so they'd be sitting ducks if they didn't. Some weren't that lucky. They got beaten up while they weren't able to move. So, between the suits becoming glorified paperweights and many white knights going on the run, there ended up being a lot of junk laying around. But the whole scientific community is rejoicing. They're on a race to reverse engineer the suits and take as much technology as possible from them. And of course, even single pieces of armor fetch high prices these days. Could anyone see profits from that research to justify those expenses? It's new tech, a whole new field, ripe with potential, just open for many, so I'd say yes. Well, on the one hand, this technology already clearly exists. It's being used on security forces. So, given, the volatile state of tech Detroit, I imagine hackers have already gotten their greedy mitts on some of the statistics. On the other hand, making it widely available to the general public might get you some profit, but I don't know, I think ultimately it probably wouldn't be worth it. The general public's making a bunch of money selling it to you. You're gonna reverse engineer stuff to sell back to them? It'd have to be some pretty sweet stuff in those suits. I mean, the BTC is literally... Isn't that like the bartending commission? Literally a conglomerate built upon patents and trademarks. I can see how. Now, there's one weird case, though, eh? There's this guy named Jack. He's the captain of a very unique Blitzkrieg Corps unit. Unique. The guy had a really small unit, 5 people including himself. The aesthetics of his unit's armor were heavily modded to the point that they looked like a squad of Henshin heroes. In reference to Hogan's Heroes, I don't know what Henshin is. To the Google. The answer and cause of all of life's problems. Henshin. Henshin Hero. Oh. Henshin Heroes of... Oh, it's a TV trope thing. We're learning with token. This thing would fucking load. There we go. Its image it's using is Beautiful Joe. The Henshin Hero is a variation or subtrope of superhero in which superpowered characters have only their special powers some of the time. Henshin Hero has distinct normal and powered forms and need to be actively switched between the two. In essence, the character's powers are all turned off while he or she is in their secret identity. Oh, it's one of those. Okay, I see what you're getting at. Squad of Henshin heroes. So, alright, fair enough. Hey, what? Ahem, they looked really gaudy. Alright, so she wouldn't have explained it anyways. But it turned out the guy actually broke through the software and disabled the remote switch. He has one of the few, if not the only, suits of armor with the operating system intact. To say they're among the most wanted people is an understatement. You know a lot about this. It's interesting the amount of things you hear when dealing with drunk people of all kinds in the same place. Funny that, since people still watching this are dealing with drunk me constantly, although right now I am sober. I really just shoot my mouth off when I'm drunk, and I get happy. I'm a happy drunk. I'm happy, and that part of my brain that says, maybe don't say that, dies. Speaking of which, drink! Straight rum. Oh boy. It also helps put on a front that makes people lower their guard. What, that they're drunk, or that... Oh, to put on a front. Okay, got it. That should sound familiar to you. No idea what you're talking about. Wait. Here's a freebie, a fun fact. The failsafe was originally going to involve the armor blowing up and leaving no traces. Shit! Hard to get people to work for you when, your failsafe is we kill you. Regulations and laws didn't allow that kind of technology near civilians. Gee, I wonder why. I guess even Zaibatsu Corps has its limits, huh? People love to demonize Zaibatsu Corps because, let's face it, they're far from innocent. But they're not evil overlords, they're just greedy. I find that's true with most corporations. No one sets out and says, I'm going to be evil today. Let's do practices that are evil. They do things that aren't good for the consumer and make them money by gouging the consumer, which certainly can be construed as evil. However, ultimately, they are profiting. Which, you know, a purely evil corporation would do things that deliberately harm people with no gain. You know, these guys are neutral evil, let's say. They just so happen to have control over what tantamounts to a city-state. Sorry. Corporations will naturally resort to draconian methods. She's using big words, which I appreciate because I know what they mean, but at the same time, I haven't used big words in a while, so my brain, already spiced up with alcohol, is not used to this. Ahem. I've heard horror stories from people outside the city about trying to use product placement. How so? What? If you so much as hold a bottle the wrong way or get in the way of a logo, you're in for lots of trouble. Oh. Label towards the camera, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not start with the theme parks of the lake. Those are dystopias of their own. I like theme parks. And again, most of the demonization is due to Quincy being such a clown. He has no power anyways. Isn't that the mayor? He's just a front for whoever the council behind Zaibatsu Corps chose. I suppose Quincy could be the, quote, CEO, unquote, but I thought he was the mayor. He makes a fool of himself, and the attention is taken away from whatever the Zaibatsu Corps is actually doing. How relevant to today's political status in the US. Yeah. So what you're saying is Glitch City is basically a huge theme park. I've called the White Knight glorified mall security in the past, so yeah. Fair enough. Again, how surprisingly relevant social commentary. This game was made in 2016, so I imagine the developers had some inkling of where the political climate was headed. No, seriously, hen what? Can I get a brandy teeny here, please? Sure. It's not like I'm asking about hentai. Jesus, come on. Is it so much... It's not difficult to explain what it was. Brandy teeny. It's a lot of Adelhyde. I'm just saying. Powered deltas. Not a lot of alcohol, though. Aged and mixed. Here. Thanks. So I take it you're in a good mood today. So, Karmatrine is the alcohol. I have a feeling Power Delta sort of, it tastes like, because it says Power and Delta, it kind of tastes like Blue Powerade. Bronson Extract I feel is bitter. And I could study the book and figure this out. I feel like Bronson Extract, it seems like a bitter drink. Flangeride I imagine is sour, and Adelhyde I imagine is sweet. Power Delta, I don't know, I figure that's more sugary, I guess, since it's energy. Which seems like it would be sweet, but, you know, whatever. There's two, I guess. Take it you're in a good mood today. Does it show? Well, your ears are perking up constantly, so yes. A bit. Yeah, well. Case in point. I managed to nab a couple of tickets for the Kira Mika Encore concert. Ah, good on you. She hasn't been by the bar in a while. Maybe. I remember the first time she came here. She might have been here a second time. I think that's when she gave me the autographed mug. But yeah, she hasn't been here in a while. Alright, it turns out she was just here. Again? Ah, okay, well, drunk me. Ahem, sorry. Again? Can't believe I just missed her. I was surprised too. I was more surprised she remembered my name, though. And like last time, she was quite the graceful client. Yeah, she's cool. Man, so those rumors about her being really nice in person were actually true. Amazing. I know! A person that's polite? Unheard of. I mean, you always want the famous people to be nice in real life. I guess that's true. But having such backing to that claim, to hear that she's so nice to everyone, it's nice to hear, you know? I like to think that I'm polite to people. Don't get me wrong, I talk a big game when I'm alone in the room with some alcohol, but, you know, once I'm interacting with people, it's nothing but yes, please, and thank you. God, it would be weird if I met anyone who knew me from YouTube in real life. Because I don't know you, but you know a lot about me, depending on how much of my channel you've watched. And if it's to the point where you're actually, it's like, ah, I know you from YouTube. You've probably watched enough of my fucking channel that I'm recognizable. So, that would be weird to me. I'd be flattered, don't get me wrong. But it would be weird to me. In fact, many think that's what made her so famous so quickly. That she was nice? More celebrities should try that. How she's down to earth and totally accessible, making her someone everyone wants to root for. Ah! That particular aspect. What the hell am I listening to? Base of the Titans. Alright, we're skipping that in the future. That is not drinking music, let me tell you. This is a chill bar, I'll have you know. Ah, I see. Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't want to feel like you're supporting crappy people. No, Lord, no. You want to support the down-to-earth nice people. Which, I like to think I'm something of an everyman. You hear me, and there's, you know, a part of you that's like, I see where he's coming from. That's a chap I wouldn't mind having a drink with. Speaking of which, give it like 3 more minutes. Although, to be honest, I never put much thought into that one. Hell, half the time I have no idea who made what I use, nor do I care much. God, Jill and I. Jill gets me. Being a nice person will take you far, though. My daddy always insists that being ruthless in the boardroom doesn't mean being an ass. Yeah, but it's fun to be an ass sometimes. And he actually managed to get certain contracts over other more powerful people. All thanks to being a nice guy overall. Suppose you're allowed to be ruthless but nice. I think Winston Churchill said something like, when you're about to crush your opponent, it costs nothing to be polite. Sounds like good advice. More importantly, Daddy? Ahem. I kind of caught that too, but I couldn't remember if it had been brought up before, so I just kind of rolled with it. Yeah, you know the rich girl. It's a trope. The rich girl, it's like, Daddy? Daddy's little girl, that sort of thing. Do you really believe me saying she was just here that easily? You're not the kind to lie about stuff like that, so sure. That's fair. Thanks, I guess. That said, can you go to the concert so easily? What about security and the like? Why don't I go to the concert? Don't I have any days off? Well, I guess I took one when I just hung out with my boss and we got drunk. Which, honestly, given the line of work I'm in, doesn't sound like much of a day off. But, you know, fucking let's go to this concert. I'm in with Kira Mika. She can probably get me a sweet spot, if not a backstage pass. My dad always has a unit keeping an eye on me from a distance. Look, there's one now! And you'd be surprised how easily I can disguise myself with just a different hairdo and a cap. I feel like the robot eye would be a dead giveaway. You also have 8 miles of hair. Cap, maybe. Whatever, though. I see. I wonder if I could get into the disabled line with cyan or wounds. I mean, I would argue you're gaming the system, but she is kind of beat up, so... Although she'll probably nag me about how she doesn't need it and we shouldn't abuse that. Sigh. I like Sigh. Hey, can you get me a classic drink? Sure. Classic, eh? Type. We have classic and classy. Another bleeding Jane. Frothy water. Beer. Let's give her just straight old beer, shall we? That's a beer. It's a classic. Who can argue with a beer? Traditionally brewed has become a luxury. But this one's pretty close to the real deal. I like how that's in quotes, so somebody said it. Not just me, I mean. Anyways, yeah, have your, what is it? All mixed, okay. There you go. Have a beer. Here. And I'll drink when she drinks in the next episode. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Token Lad. Talk to you later. Shouldn't go see you around Ass Clowns.